Hey guys, how's it going? So today we are going to be digging sweet potatoes. That's the main goal of the day. And then we're going to probably start doing some annual clean out. You can see behind me our dahlia patch. I wanted to start right here just to show you that we got our first frost last night. 29 degrees when I woke up this morning, and I just knew that when I came out here things were going to be looking a little bit sad. But we're ready. I've got all the dahlias tagged. We'll do that here in the next few days. We'll start the digging process, but I always like to wait until the tops get taken by a frost before we start digging. So anyway, this is kind of the state of affairs around here. I was driving around just like looking at all of our annuals that lasted so long. It's the 27th of October today, and we got to enjoy beautiful color almost until November. It's just, that amazes me. Every fall is a little bit different, but this one has felt like a gift. We have two varieties of sweet potatoes we are digging today. They're out on the new property, and they look much like the dahlias. They got nipped with last night's frost, but that's what I wanted. I wanted one frost on those before we dug them, and it should be fun to see how they did out there, because I've never planted, well, sweet potato, well, anything. This was the first year we planted stuff out there. Our potatoes did really well, so hopefully the sweet potatoes did too. The vines are vigorous and they just were growing everywhere. So if that's any indicator, I think we'll find some good stuff. Oh, look at that. What a glorious morning. And what's even more glorious is that Gabe and Katie are on their way and they wanted to help with some more garden stuff. So, you know, yesterday, they're our friends from, they traveled here from around the Seattle area. Yesterday we planted 2,700 bulbs in the garden, and they made the job really fun because you get to visit the whole time and a lot faster. So today I thought sweet potatoes would be a fun one, and then getting some of those annuals up out of the ground. It's almost kind of satisfying, even though it's sad a little bit, it's satisfying to pull some of those big plants out. You'll notice Paul down there, he's cleaning out cosmos and marigolds. This is where we're gonna start. We've got our artichokes, which I've picked several from. Aren't they pretty? I wanted to see what those would do. I love the look of that one, touched by a bit of frost with that little brown. So I'm gonna cut those and take them in. Might try to dry those in some silica gel sand. So right behind them, we have the sweet potatoes. You can see what their vines look like. A little bit black. Sorry, I've got a dangly thing from my camera. I need to tuck that back here, sorry. So that's what they look like. You can harvest sweet potatoes earlier than this. I usually like to wait till the first frost because they continue growing. They continue sizing up under the ground until either this happens or until the vine starts to yellow and die back, which ours never did. So I thought they're healthy and looking great. Let's just wait till the frost takes them, and then we need to get after it. You don't want to leave them in the ground too long after the first frost. So it needs to kind of be priority on your list. After we dig them today, which we're going to use a digging fork, we dig these just like we do regular potatoes. We are going to clean them up just a little bit, not with water. We'll just remove as much of the soil as we can off of the tubers. And then to cure them, which is a really important part, that's where a lot of the sugars start to form and condense inside the sweet potato, and it also helps the skin of the potato dry, so storage life is better. You want to put them somewhere for about 10 to 14 days where it's roughly 75 to 80 degrees and slightly humid. For me, that means the studio, where we've got a bunch of houseplants in there. It's already slightly humid in there. I can kick the heat up just a bit. We usually keep it right at like 69, 70 anyway. So just for 2 weeks, we'll keep the heat 5 or 6 degrees warmer. After that, we can put them in the root cellar. So I think it's going to work out really well. I'm excited. So the two varieties of sweet potatoes I have, we've got one right here called Mayan, M-A-H-O-N, a Mayan yam. I'm probably saying that wrong. And it's not an actual yam. Even though yam is in the name of it, it is technically a sweet potato. And they are two very different things. I think that yams, to my knowledge, have a little bit more of a rough skin, and they have drier, more starchy flesh than a sweet potato. I don't know all the intricacies and the ins and outs of that. The two I have are both sweet potatoes. The other variety is Beauregard. The Mayan variety here has pink skin and dark orange flesh. They say it's really moist and really sweet, that you don't even need to add sugar because it's got such a high concentration. That's the other benefit of leaving them in the ground till it gets a little cooler. That does help send sugars to the tubers as well. The other variety we have up closer to where Paul's working, those are Beauregards. And they have kind of a reddish orange skin with a dark orange flesh, and they're really productive, typically, sweet potato. So anyway, I think all that said, that's pretty much all the information that I have on sweet potatoes. I, usually add biotone starter fertilizer when we plant those, probably some land and sea compost. After that, they are heavy feeders, so you could feed them a couple times during the season. Ours got one extra application of garden tone, which probably helped, but Yeah, I could have fertilized a little bit more. Here are all the things we're going to be using. We've got digging forks. We've got something to put the sweet potatoes in. I've got a kneeling pad, my gloves, and then I do have Falcos. I might remove foliage before I start digging. That might make it more clear as to where I need to dig. I'm just not sure. I just need to get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and Gabe and Katie are probably going to arrive here really shortly, and then you'll see them kind of jump in and start helping. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so I started pulling back these vines. Look what I found right at the base of one of our plants. A gopher run. Pretty fresh. Look at that. There's a worm. Oh my gosh. There's another hole right in there. I don't know if you can see that in there. Oh, I hope they didn't eat my potatoes. Rotten gophers. Okay. Let's dig this area up. There's one, nice looking one. Another one. Oh man, broke it. Okay, there they are, all lined up single file on the leaf tarp. They fit perfectly. So, you know, this process, like I said, they'll have a chance to dry, first of all. Our first batch is way drier and way lighter in color, my goodness. After the curing period, we'll just take a really soft brush and we'll brush off all the excess soil. We'll check any of the ones that are cut like that. So a few of them just snapped in half, and that happens when you're digging sometimes because you have no idea where the potatoes are underneath the soil surface. Those will probably come in even during the curing process, and I'll snag a few here and there and we'll eat those right away because those just will not store as good as the other ones. So I'm really happy with this harvest. So awesome. Now that that is done, we're gonna go have a little break, go grab a coffee, I think, and then we're gonna come back and do a little bit of clean out in the cut flower garden. We're gonna pull some of the zinnias, I think, that got taken last night and just do some tidying up. So that should be a really fun, kind of relaxing. I like jobs like that because they're very tangible, like they look really good after you're done, and it's kind of mindless at the same time so that we can really visit and not really have to think about what we're doing. Guys, it's actually the next day, but as you can see, we did get all the zinnias pulled and it did not take us very long. Boy, you get 3 people on it and it was done in like 30 to 40 minutes or so. There's Russell rolling around in the nice puffy loose soil down there. Russell, what are you doing? Come here. Do you like the fluffy dirt? Hey buddy. Oh yeah, look at you, all dirty. Whoa. So that was the 160-foot row, and then one that's, oh, I don't know, 20 feet or so. And then you can see what else we have left out here. The status, even though it's been down to 18 degrees, status still looking really good. That's the beautiful part about growing some flowers that just dry really well. They just look like that. It's amazing. Rudbeckia, not so amazing. These are tender Rudbeckia. So they're varieties that are labeled tender perennial, which usually, I mean, can mean they're a zone 6, 7, 8, something like that. Typically, I don't have the varieties that I have here come back for me. So that's why they're planted in the annual section. So we are getting ready to pull those. I'm gonna harvest status. When we pull those, I'll harvest all of the good stems. And then we do have a couple other things that still look okay. Not the Nicotiana, or really the larkspur, which makes me sad. These self-seeded, and they almost made it. We had a crop this spring, and then they dropped their seeds, and then this is what came up from them. The gomphrena, we could still harvest a few of those stems, and the straw flowers as well. You can see the foliage looks horrid, but if you get in there, you can find some blooms that still look okay. And the same story with our Cresspedia here. Some nice looking blooms. Everything else in this section needs to be taken out. But it's nice that we were able to get a jump on it. The zinnias, I mean, that was a huge section in this area, so getting that done was really nice. Anyway, that is it for this video project. Huge thank you to Gabe and Katie again for all their help in the garden. Thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.